Hello, Alicia.
Hi, Jared, and welcome listeners to Vibrations and Manifestations. Today we are diving into something that, well, it's often misunderstood, isn't it? Yet it's incredibly powerful in the world of alignment and manifestation. We're talking about the art of energetic boundaries.
Boundaries, yeah. And when that word comes up, I think for most of us, we immediately picture like a heavy locked door, right?
Exactly. Or a high fence built to keep the world out, to separate us.
And that mental image, that whole brick wall idea,
Yeah.
is exactly what holds us back. We really want to shatter that perception today. We're
Definitely.
talking about creating distance or defense necessarily. Energetic boundaries are much more subtle. They're potent tools for like magnetism and coherence.
Right. It's about allowing you to stay fiercely centered, grounded, glowing in your own unique frequency, even when things feel chaotic around you.
Which they often do. And
Eh.
honestly, they're arguably the most crucial manifestation skill there is.
That distinction is just so vital. We're aiming for clarity, not, captivity behind walls.
Yeah. So the core question guiding this deep dive is, I think, intensely personal for everyone listening. How do you stay radiant in the world? How do you remain open to receiving inspiration, love, genuine connection?
Without dimming your own light,
Yeah.
without draining your reserves until you're just running on empty, because that happens so easily.
So easily. And the line between being a genuinely kind, generous person and being someone who is, well, utterly self-erasing,
Mm-hmm.
who sacrifices their own well-being just for the comfort of others, maybe, that line is often dangerously blurred.
Oh, absolutely. And we've found, haven't we, that the only way most of us truly locate that line is by repeatedly stepping way over it first.
Unfortunately, yes. Learning the hard way.
Learning the hard way what the energetic cost really is. Boundaries, when you get down to it, in their purest form, they're not about defense against others. They're about the precise definition of self.
And nothing teaches you the necessity of precise definition, like experiencing the extremes, right?
So I want to start with the corner I definitely found myself painted into, which, looking back, I call my overgiver crisis.
The curse of the automatic yes.
Yes.
We know it well.
The automatic yes, and it's amplified by that fear of disapproval, My story really hinges on this massive high-stakes group project I was involved in a few years back.
Okay.
Initially, it felt incredible, just amazing. It was one of those dream collaborations where every meeting was electric, just buzzing with ideas. The synergy was palpable.
That initial high, yeah.
Exactly. I thought, okay, this is the true flow of alignment, and I wanted to keep that feeling alive so badly.
Yeah, true.
So instead of really discerning where my energy was best spent, I just kept saying yes to everything, every incoming demand.
Like what kind of things?
Oh, yes, I can take that extra task on. Yes, I'll stay up and fix that tonight.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll smooth over that client conflict. No problem.
Right, the fixer, the
Yeah.
go-to person.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the internal narrative was constant. I was the team player. I was driving momentum. I was making myself absolutely indispensable, or so I thought.
And of course, the deeper fear driving that, the thing underneath it all, was probably that if you stop performing, if you stop saying yes,
Yeah.
then the connection, the synergy, that sense of belonging you valued so much would just vanish.
That's exactly it. That's the high-level energetic trade we often make without even realizing it. We trade our precious energy for perceived worth.
We try to earn our place.
But the trade-off, it wasn't just mental. It had this staggering physical and emotional cost. Every single yes that came from obligation, not from genuine willingness, just chipped away at my peace.
I can feel that.
I was ignoring the skipped walks, the late half-eaten dinners, and this persistent physical tightening right in the center of my chest.
Oh, the body signals. Yeah.
That tightness was my body just screaming at me, but my mind was so determined not to be the person who slowed the group down, or, God forbid, the difficult one who needed rest.
So you essentially became a container for everyone else's unmet needs and their expectations. That's just an impossible job for anyone.
Impossible. And that initial momentum, it quickly thinned out into something brittle and just exhausting. The joy, the magnetism that had drawn me to that great collaboration in the first place felt like a distant memory.
The spark was gone.
Completely gone. And I realized that all that caretaking, all that performance, it didn't actually build closeness. It built this quiet, simmering resentment toward the very people I was trying so hard to impress.
Oof. Resentment. That low-grade resentment, I found, is the absolute worst kind of energetic drag. It just poisons everything.
It really does. I'd wake up feeling trapped, like my own creative spark was buried under this landslide of other people's to-do lists. The breakthrough only happened when I forced myself to take one small, honest pause.
Just a pause.
Just saying, let me think about it. Instead of that habitual yes. And that tiny hesitation, that tiny space, it showed me how long I'd been running on someone else's rhythm, completely abandoning my own.
Wow. And my story is kind of the perfect yet, painful mirror image of yours. I call it the Overguarder response.
Okay.
Following a really, really debilitating burnout, I swore I would never again let myself get depleted like that. Ever.
Right. The pendulum swings.
Totally.
Yeah.
But my solution wasn't to draw better lines. It was to go into full protection mode. I basically built an energetic fortress around myself. I started saying this rigid, almost defensive no to pretty much everything. Invites, spontaneous opportunities, any conversation that even hinted it might require too much emotional bandwidth from me.
So you swapped one form of control, your overgiving, for another kind of control, this overguarding.
Precisely. And initially, I have to admit, the feeling was powerful. It was that heady sensation of reclaiming control over my life, my time, my emotional resources. Finally.
But it felt good at first.
It did. But the silence I had built, which was supposed to be this healing sanctuary, it gradually turned heavy, almost dense. Isolation just crept in.
The fortress became a prison.
It really did. I remember this one moment that crystallized it all for me. I was sitting at home. My phone vibrated with a text from a genuinely caring friend. But the text looked like it might involve, listening to their difficulties for maybe 20 minutes.
Right. A potential energy drain.
Exactly. And I just couldn't bring myself to answer it. And I realized in that moment that my boundaries, quote unquote, were no longer protecting my peace. They were just walls guarding my fear of being drained again.
Wow.
I had built those walls so thick that not only couldn't others really enter, but even the light, the spontaneous joy, the true reciprocal connection, that feeling of ease even that had trouble penetrating the fortress.
So what began as necessary self-respect had kind of devolved into self-protection, but driven purely by fear.
Absolutely. And when we look at both of our extremes, your performance-driven overgiving and my fear-driven overguarding, we see they are essentially the same energetic mechanism playing out differently. Well, they both stem from the same fundamental misunderstanding, that we somehow have to choose between being fully open and connected and being fundamentally safe. Like it's one or the other.
And that leads us perfectly to the synthesis point, the thing that really transforms this work. True energetic boundaries are not about shutting people out or constantly bending yourself into knots to accommodate them.
Right.
They are the definition that allows you to stay powerfully centered while remaining connected. And when they're right, they don't feel prickly or tense. They feel entirely peaceful.
That peaceful feeling. And the reason that peace is so tangible, the reason this isn't just, fluffy self-help talk, is that this boundary work has literal scientific grounding.
Okay, let's get into that.
So we're moving now from our personal experiences, which are so important, to the invisible, measurable currents that prove energy management is actually a real discipline, verifiable by science.
Oh, I love this part. Let's start with the literal electromagnetic truth, because when we talk about your vibe, we're actually talking about real physics.
We really are. Studies, particularly from the HeartMath Institute, focusing on bioelectromagnetic communication, they give us this profound understanding of what our internal state is actually broadcasting out into the world.
So it's not just a metaphor.
Not at all. The hard fact is that the human heart generates the body's strongest electromagnetic field, stronger than the brain's even. And that field extends several feet beyond your physical body.
Wow. Several feet.
Yeah. Think of your heart not just as a pump, but as your own personal Wi-Fi router, constantly sending out signals.
That's the perfect analogy. And this field, this is the mechanism for what we sometimes call electromagnetic empathy, right?
Exactly. When two people enter close proximity, their heart fields literally begin to synchronize. It's measurable. If you're sitting across from someone who's in a state of stress or anxiety, your heart rhythms will unconsciously start to match theirs.
Unless you actively hold your center. Unless you're aware of your own field.
Precisely. And this is absolutely crucial to boundary work. When you are grounded and clear, when you're in that state we call coherence, your field broadcasts steadiness, clarity, safety. Your signal is clean, it's strong.
Okay.
But if you're frazzled, scattered, or depleted because you've allowed your boundaries to erode, your signal blurs. It gets noisy. And others can unconsciously dial into that noise, adding to your chaos without even meaning to. They're just reacting to your broadcast.
So boundaries aren't really about blocking the noise from outside. They are about maintaining your own distinct, steady frequency from the inside.
Yes. You remain porous and available to love, support, genuine inspiration, all the good stuff. But your coherence, your internal steadiness, acts as a natural seal against external chaos, guilt, draining demands. Your steadiness is your shield, in a way.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so if the heart field is the current we're broadcasting, then polyvagal theory helps explain the complex wiring that interprets the signals coming in, right? We need to talk about neuroception.
Yes, neuroception, a concept largely developed by Dr. Stephen Porges. It's fascinating.
Explain it for us. What is neuroception?
So neuroception is basically your body's unconscious detection system. It's running constantly in the background, scanning your environment.
Scanning for what?
Scanning for cues of safety or cues of threat. It looks at the tone of a voice, the microexpressions on someone's face, the rhythm of their movement, the lighting in the room, sounds, everything. And it processes this information long before your conscious brain kicks in and says, oh, I feel uncomfortable, or oh, I feel safe here.
Wow. So it's subconscious surveillance.
Exactly. For our listeners, think about walking into a room full of people. Before you've even exchanged a single word, your nervous system has already evaluated the situation based on thousands of tiny cues. Was the body language around you open or guarded? Was the lighting harsh or soft? Was the tone of a nearby conversation aggressive or calm?
Right. You just get a vibe.
You get a vibe. And if your nervous system detects too many threat cues, even subtle ones, it triggers a defensive response, fight, flight, or freeze automatically.
Oh, and here's where the boundaries come in. How does this connect?
Well, if your boundaries are consistently unclear, if you are routinely allowing people to cross your emotional lines or your time boundaries, or if you're constantly bracing for conflict because you haven't spoken your truth, your body interprets that environment, that internal state, as profoundly unsafe.
So the lack of boundaries signals danger to the nervous system.
Constantly. Bessel van der Kolk's work really reinforces this absolute necessity of feeling safe in our bodies. When we habitually overextend ourselves or ignore our internal no signals, we disrupt our fundamental sense of physical and emotional security. The nervous system then shifts into this chronic state of low-level bracing. You know, that perpetual knot in your stomach some people feel, or that tension held deep in the jaw or shoulders.
Oh, yeah. I know that tension well.
That is often the physical manifestation of unclear boundaries, signaling chronic danger to your system. It's exhausting.
But the flip side is, when you define and hold clear energetic and emotional boundaries,
Yes.
you are actively signaling safety to your own nervous system. It receives the message, we're okay, we're contained, we're sovereign, and it stops bracing. It can finally relax.
And that allows you to truly connect with others from a place of strength, of sovereignty, rather than from desperation or that feeling of self-loss.
Okay, so we have the science of the physical body, the electromagnetic field. Now, let's layer in the spiritual laws that govern resonance, because this is where manifestation truly kicks in.
Yes, the meeting place of physics and spirituality. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. The law of resonance, which is central to Hermetic philosophy like in the Kabbalion, tells us something fundamental.
Right,
You don't attract what you chase after or wish for.
right.
You harmonize with what you embody. The universe isn't really listening to your desperate wishes. It's responding vibrationally to your consistent internal state.
So if your internal state is consistently broadcasting, I must perform and sacrifice my well-being to be worthy.
Then the situations that manifest will perfectly mirror that feeling of scarcity, that need to earn. It has to. Neville Goddard's work is so pivotal here. Sustaining a consistent inner state, a state of feeling whole and worthy now, literally teaches the outer world how to meet you.
Wow, teaches the outer world. So if you maintain these wobbly, porous boundaries, you're essentially broadcasting inconsistency.
Exactly. Which naturally draws in inconsistent, demanding, draining experiences in people. It's just resonance. Florence Scovel Shinn framed clear, energetic boundaries so beautifully, not as trying to control others, but as an act of absolute faith and clarity in your own defined self, trusting your own energy.
And Abraham Hicks, they simplify it so well too, don't they? The goal is never to try and resist or control everyone else's chaotic frequency. That's impossible.
Impossible and exhausting.
The goal is simply to protect and maintain your own consistent, steady alignment. You choose your vibe consciously, and the rest just has to organize around it eventually.
That is the perfect bridge. We've covered the invisible laws, the why and the how of energy interaction. Now let's talk about the muscle memory. How do we actually turn these insights from HeartMath and polyvagal theory into conscious daily practice?
Yes, the practical stuff. This next segment is all about turning that insight into embodiment, calibration in motion.
Exactly. We're going to walk through 3 core tools together. And we really encourage you, if you can, to actively participate right now as we go through them. These are designed to make your signal protected yet porous, like creating a golden atmosphere, not a heavy lead shield.
Okay, I'm ready. Tool number 1, the energy bubble visualization.
So find a spot where you can pause for just a moment, perhaps sitting or standing still. And the very first step is simple. Take a breath that feels like it belongs entirely and perfectly to you. Just one conscious breath. Good. Now visualize a gentle light. Don't force it. Just notice its presence beginning right at your heart center. It's a soft, steady glow there. With each slow inhale you take, see or feel that light expanding outward, forming a luminous breathing sphere that completely surrounds your body. Maybe extending about a foot or 2 beyond you in all directions.
Give that sphere a quality that feels good to you. Perhaps it's a bright, clear gold, or maybe a soft, pearlescent white. See it, feel it. And define it in your mind as dynamic and breathing, not like rigid armor. As you inhale, imagine it opening just enough to welcome genuinely nourishing things in. Love, inspiration, easy support, joy. And as you exhale, picture the sphere gently, effortlessly sealing itself against draining forces. Things like external guilt trips, comparison, chaotic thoughts from others, or manufactured drama. It just seals gently.
If you happen to be around other people right now, picture their energy as gentle waves in the air. Your sphere meets those waves, but only the frequencies that harmonize with your internal peace, your coherence, are permitted to pass through easily. Everything else just slows down, softens, and slides off the edge of your bubble like mist evaporating in warm sunlight. No effort needed. Take one final deep breath to really anchor this feeling in your body. Notice any physical relief you might feel, maybe looser shoulders, a calmer stomach, just a quiet sense of energetic coherence. You have effectively zipped up your field, as a wonderful Donna Eben teaches. This is clarity, remember, not defense.
I feel that. Okay, that's a powerful one to practice regularly. The second essential tool is the boundary audit. This one requires a moment of radical honesty and maybe some stillness.
Yes, honesty is key here.
If you can, grab a notebook or even just open a note on your phone. Draw 2 columns on the page, label one drains on the left and the other replenishes on the right.
Okay, under drains, I want you to list specific people, activities, or even conversations that leave you feeling distinctly smaller, tighter, or maybe resentful afterward. Be really granular here. This isn't just my job, but perhaps that specific Monday morning team meeting, or scrolling Instagram for 45 minutes, or even the thought loop I get into about whether I'm good enough. Write them down. And under replenishes, list things that actively, easily restore you, fill you up. Things like time in nature, creative play, listening to certain music, maybe absolute silence, intentional movement, connecting with certain friends. Things that genuinely feed your coherence.
Yeah, take a moment and look at both lists side by side. The key diagnostic question here is this. Where in the last week, or even just today, have I actively said yes to something on the drains list? Where is my energy leaking out? And what belief, what story am I telling myself that's justifying that leak? Just choose one drain for now, only one, and write down what saying an honest no, or crucially, maybe renegotiating that commitment would actually look like in reality. Remember, you aren't necessarily cutting people off entirely. You're simply adjusting the flow of your light, your energy. The real value here is in the awareness, not in achieving instant perfect execution.
That's so important. Awareness first. Okay, our final practical tool is perhaps the most powerful because it actually helps rewire the nervous system over time. It's the pause practice. It works by inserting your intuition back into every decision, preventing that automatic, often fear-based yes response.
And the rule is deceptively simple, isn't it? Before responding to any request that asks for your time, your energy, or your money, whether it feels big or small, just take one conscious, slow breath. Just one.
As that breath moves through your body, tune in specifically to your body's physical response, not just your mental justification or the story you're telling yourself. Ask yourself, does my chest or belly feel open, peaceful, maybe expansive or light? That's your body signaling alignment. That's a clear yes.
Or do you feel contraction? A sudden knot in your stomach, a tightening in your gut or throat, maybe a flush of heat or just a rush of obligation or pressure? That feeling is crucial, non-negotiable information. That is likely a warning signal. A no, or at the very least, a not right now, I need more data, or this needs adjustment.
If the sensation is anything other than clear expansion and peace, practice using this simple phrase, that sounds interesting, let me check my schedule and get back to you, or just let me think about that and get back to you. That single breath, that one phrase, it stops the performance impulse cold, gives you space.
And here's the real magic behind it. This micro boundary, practiced consistently, reinforces self-trust. Over time, this simple practice physically rewires your nervous system, shifting your default setting from automatic people-pleasing to genuine self-sovereignty. You are literally training yourself to prioritize your internal clarity over external expectations.
So powerful. Now, despite using all these wonderful tools, we know life happens, right? You will feel that familiar energetic tug, sometimes the fatigue, the deep resentment bubbling up, that subtle pressure to perform or prove your worth.
Inevitable, yeah.
When that happens, it simply means your energy field is a bit fuzzy, maybe scattered or leaking somewhere. It is not failure. It is just data that requires recalibration.
I love that framing. Not failure, just data. And that takes us directly into what we call manifestation debug mode. When your energy feels heavy or scattered, we treat it just like a technical glitch in the system that needs to be located, analyzed, and resolved gently and without shame.
Exactly. This process is all about fine-tuning your alignment in real time, using those moments of discomfort as signals. If you can, take another moment now to notice what physical sensations might arise in your body as we walk through this diagnosis together.
Okay. Start by gently recalling a recent situation where you felt profoundly stretched thin. Maybe you committed to something you immediately regretted afterward. Or perhaps you overinvested your energy in helping someone who wasn't truly ready or willing to help themselves. Just choose one clear memory and hold it gently in your awareness, without judgment.
Okay. Now, take that cleansing breath again. Just settle into the feeling for a moment and ask yourself the first diagnostic question. This is the real gut check.
What am I trying to earn by saying yes in this situation?
And really sit with the answer that comes up. Let it surface honestly. We're rarely just earning money. We're usually trying to earn something much more intangible. Approval, maybe belonging, being seen as capable or reliable, or perhaps just keeping the peace, avoiding conflict.
Notice if that impulse feels like an old pattern, perhaps even a childhood reflex, a strategy you learned long ago to stay safe and loved in your environment back then. The need to belong is totally valid, of course, but the strategy of constant self-sacrifice is likely outdated and harmful to your current energetic field.
That's a key distinction. Okay, now here comes the truth serum. Question number 2.
Would I still do this if literally no one noticed?
Let that land. If the answer is an immediate, honest no, then your action in that situation was likely coming from external performance, not from internal coherence. It was about managing how you look to the world, rather than aligning with how you genuinely feel within yourself.
Just pause for a second and feel where your body might relax or maybe resist hearing that truth. You might feel a subtle rush of relief in your chest or perhaps a softening in your stomach area. That sensation is your energy literally reorganizing itself around this new awareness. You're starting to move your broadcast signal from earning your worth, which always implies scarcity, to aligning with your inherent worth, which comes from a place of abundance.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, the key to completing this debug process is a little bit of visualization. Imagine rerunning that exact situation in your mind, but this time you're responding from a place of absolute wholeness, from that grounded, centered place you found in the bubble exercise. Picture the words coming out differently, maybe calmer, clearer. Thank you so much for asking, but I don't actually have the bandwidth for that right now. Or perhaps, let's revisit that next week. I'm prioritizing rest today. Just feel into that. Notice how much lighter the air feels around that scenario, how much clearer your own energy remains when you speak from coherence rather than obligation.
And what about guilt? Because that often comes up right after we imagine saying no.
Ah, yes, guilt, our old friend. If that sticky, familiar feeling of guilt surfaces as you do this, please do not fight it or push it away. Instead, try thanking the guilt. Seriously. Thank it for reminding you of the old protective belief that probably kept you safe when you were younger or more vulnerable. Acknowledge its past role. Then, visualize letting that specific belief, the belief that you must say yes to be okay, exhale completely out of your body. See it dissipate like smoke through an open window. It's no longer needed in this present moment. You're safe now to choose differently.
So each time you run this kind of debug, you're essentially retraining your energy field.
Exactly. You're retraining it to choose resonance over reaction. You stop broadcasting the scarcity, the fear that you must be everything for everyone, and you begin transmitting this quiet, unshakable stability instead. And that deep stability is the frequency the external world must eventually mirror back to you. It's law.
That whole process, moving from the mental understanding through the honest diagnosis to the embodied feeling, is the perfect gateway to our final practice today. Let's integrate all this knowledge into a peaceful, felt experience right now.
Yes. We invite you now to drop completely from the thinking mind into pure sensing. If you're able, settle again into a comfortable position, perhaps sitting or lying down. Let your hands rest loosely in your lap or by your sides, palms open and receptive. Gently close your eyes or just soften your gaze downwards.
Take a deep, steady breath in through your nose, drawing the air all the way down into your belly, and then let it fall out of your mouth with a soft, audible sigh. Just let go. Do this twice more, maybe deliberately slower each time you exhale.
With every single exhale, imagine you are actively releasing any static or digital noise you might have picked up today. Other people's expectations, any unresolved worry floating around, any anxiety from the week. Just let it drain down and out of your energy field until your breath feels entirely and peacefully your own again.
Good. Now, visualize yourself standing or resting in a place of perfect calm. Maybe that field of soft, supportive sunlight we mentioned earlier, or any place that feels safe and serene to you. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. Safe, supportive, perhaps humming quietly with life-giving energy.
Locate that gentle light glowing from the very center of your chest again. This is your feeling of home. Your pure essential energy, your core frequency. With each easy breath, allow that light to expand outward. effortlessly creating that luminous field all around you. Remember, this field is translucent, it's breathing like an atmosphere of pure radiance unique to you.
Explore the edges of this breathing boundary with your awareness. As you inhale, feel it brighten and open slightly, perfectly ready to receive whatever is nourishing and aligned. As you exhale, feel it strengthen and smooth, confirming that it is a powerful filter made of love and discernment, not a rigid, brittle wall built from fear.
Now, just observe how external energy might interact with your field. Imagine people, thoughts, or maybe draining situations moving toward you gently. When something comes along that truly matches your inner calm, nourishing energy, love, support, watch how easily it flows right in, blending seamlessly with your own light, welcoming it in.
And when something approaches that carries tension, demand, judgment, or chaos, just observe it slowing down immediately as it reaches the edge of your golden field. See it soften, perhaps dissolve, and return to the general atmosphere as harmless, maybe like gray vapor drifting away. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to tense up or defend. Your self-sustaining field knows inherently what is yours and what is not. It filters automatically based on your core vibration.
Let your breath be the gentle rhythm of this filter. Inhale to receive and brighten your light. Exhale to release anything that doesn't resonate and strengthen your boundary. Feel yourself growing clearer, lighter, and powerfully distinct within your own space.
Silently repeat this simple truth to yourself now, internalizing its power. Only what serves my peace may enter. Everything else returns to light. Feel the truth of that in your body. Only what serves my peace may enter. Everything else returns to light.
Stay here for just a few more breaths, basking in that feeling of balance, feeling open yet grounded, feeling connected yet perfectly distinct. This is the feeling of coherence. This is your aligned state.
Now, begin to anchor this sensation firmly in your body. Imagine moving through the rest of your day, walking into any situation, greeting any person, creating, working, resting all while this beautiful golden atmosphere moves with you, adapting gently to your environment but never dissolving or losing its integrity. It is the natural, easy aura of your alignment.
Take one last deep, centering breath to anchor this sense of calm power firmly in your body now. Begin to bring some gentle movement back, maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, gently open your eyes, bringing this awareness back with you.
That clarity you feel right now, that centeredness, that is your frequency calibrated, protected, and fully sustained by you.
Beautiful. So today, we really walked through the entire journey of holding your own energy, didn't we? Starting with those relatable emotional stories of overgiving and overguarding.
Right, the extremes.
And realizing that both are ultimately fear-driven forms of defense, not genuine alignment at all.
Then we connected the dots with the actual science, showing how your heart's electromagnetic field literally communicates coherence, and how your nervous system's neuroception requires clear boundaries to feel fundamentally safe and finally stop that lifelong pattern of bracing for impact.
Then you actively practice those 3 key grounding tools. The energy bubble to hold your field steady in the moment, the boundary audit to get radically honest about your energy leaks, and the powerful pause practice to deliberately reinsert your intuition into every commitment you make.
And finally, you learned how to debug the core patterns when you feel off, asking if your actions are driven by that anxious need to earn love or worthiness, or if they're coming from the peaceful choice of alignment, culminating in the felt sense, the lightness of that golden field visualization.
So here is the core takeaway we really hope you carry forward into your week. Boundaries do not block love or connection. They clarify it. They are the very mechanism that makes authentic, sustainable connection possible. You never, ever have to choose between being loving and being self-honoring.
That's the key. Those two states, loving others and honoring self, they are meant to exist at the very same frequency.
Absolutely.
So as your provocative thought, your little experiment for the week, try using your internal feeling as your primary compass. When someone asks for your time or energy, take that single pause, that one breath, and just ask your body, does my peace expand or does it shrink when I consider this commitment? Let that internal feeling be your calibration line. Trust it.
And let this be your constant mantra, maybe whispered silently to yourself when you feel that old tug of obligation resurface. My boundaries are the rhythm of my radiance. I can stay open and still stay whole.
I love that. My boundaries are the rhythm of my radiance. If this deep dive helped you find even a little more clarity or peace today, please share it with someone you know who might be struggling with overgiving or maybe feeling trapped behind their own walls right now. Protecting their energy isn't selfish. It's sacred, necessary maintenance for their well-being.
It really is. And if you'd like to keep this conversation growing and get more tools like these, please sign up for the Vibe Letter. It's our weekly newsletter, and it comes with bonus reflections and detailed field guide summaries of all these practices we talk about.
Thank you so much for spending this time aligning with us today. Take one last deep breath with us now. Feel your light holding steady and clear. And remember,
Stay open. Stay whole.
and we'll meet you in the next vibration.